Back in the days of the Salem witch trials, persecutors would see if a woman would float or sink to determine if she was a witch or not, and basically the lung float test is doing the same thing. If the lungs of a deceased infant float, that means that the baby was at one point alive and breathed air. If not, then it was a stillborn. That means if they float, the woman could be charged for murder. The test was first conducted in the 1690s and is still being used today in cases where a person gives birth in a setting where there weren't any witnesses, like at home alone. This, experts say, is pseudoscience, not based on any actual fact. There is no science to prove that lungs would float or sink regardless of if a child had breathed. In fact, there have been cases where a stillborn baby's lungs did float. Also worth mentioning, it seems the way the test is performed has varied greatly depending on the time period and who was doing the test. While all of the major medical examiners' offices across the country agree there are other, way more accurate ways of testing to see if a child was alive, some of them still use it, and many judges have allowed it as evidence in criminal trials. In fact, ProPublica has identified 11 women who have been charged in part because of this test. And certainly not to say that none of these cases could be murder, but there's enough doubt surrounding this specific test that it does pose the question, why are we still witch hunting in 2024?